Hello, everyone. Ride share is taxing on your vehicle. That's what they say. They say it all the time, which is true as it pertains to ride sharing. That, again, is true. But it's not a big deal because to get anything, you have to give something. So when individuals will say that, like when I was doing my research on getting into ride sharing, everyone was saying, hey, it's taxing on your car, it's taxing on your car. And I'm like, well, I drive my vehicle regardless, so it's going to be taxing anyway it goes. So I did the Benjamin Franklin method, looked at the pros and the cons, and then the pros being, excuse me, one, I'll be able to be of service and help people. That's always good. Two, I'll be able to use the things from being of service to people doing a tax write off. Of course, third, making money. There was a few other things, but I don't need to keep going with the list. It's not Christmas time, so no need to go with a long list. Um, but yeah, I think when people say that, it's just to, in some instances, it's just to let one know what they're getting into with what he or she is getting into, and then other times people are just hating. It just they don't one they don't want to put the miles on their vehicle. Two, they really don't want to work. Three, they lazy. Or four, they just looking at it through one prism. So, and we all know with most things, especially in business, anything that requires some type of time and effort, it's going to be more than one prism to look through. So, and I even got that when I was doing rideshare. Folks will hop in my back seat, and as the drive progresses, some would say, "Hey, how's it on your car? You rack up a lot of miles." And almost all the time, I would be like, "Yeah, it's fine. It is. It does put a lot of miles on my vehicle. However, comma, there's a lot of benefits from doing rideshare. There's a lot of benefits in having a vehicle. And like I told some of my clients at the time, me putting wear and tear, air quotes, on my vehicle was allowing me to help them along with other people. Because even when my vehicle was down and I had to take rideshare at one point in time, now there were other times I took it because I just didn't feel like driving. I'm not even going to tell no lie. But even then, they were putting miles on their car, but they were still being of service to people. Like I always say, everything in business and life in general is interdependent. So you can't have one without the other. I remember some of my colleagues knew what I was doing with the rideshare stuff, and they will always say, you put some miles on your car, and that it didn't really trouble me because it's true I did put miles on my car. Now the main thing I was more concerned about, you know, with doing rideshare, with it being taxed on my car, is the things that can happen on the road, the things that I could not control, like being sideswiped or being stuck in rush hour traffic, getting hit from the back. You just don't know. You just never know. So again, doing rideshare, if one decides to do rideshare, it will be taxing on your vehicle. Okay, and it's gonna be taxing. You drive your car everywhere else, it's going to be taxing. You take road trips, it's going to be taxing. You go to work, it's going to be taxing. And let's say you work from home, and then your job says you have to come back into work, it's going to be taxing. So it all depends on what he or she wants to do at the end of the day. And I just looked at it again. I looked at the positive things beyond it being taxing on my car because that was obvious. Because prior to me getting into rideshare, and maybe some of you all out there can relate. Prior to doing rideshare, you already had miles on your car. I mean, people act as if you're gonna get your vehicle when you're just gonna put it in one location and just look at it like it's a piece of art. Nah, I don't think so. I mean, one can do that, but then that'll lead to the battery being drained. Depending on where it's located, it can get affected by the elements, hail, rain, debris, so on and so on. So, like I said, if you want to get into doing ride share, just know it's going to be taxing on your car. But also know there's going to be a lot of other benefits that you will have. You will meet different people. You will also see that life is not as bad as you think you have it. Um, you also will hear some things that will keep you centered in self. Also, it'll make you thank the Most High that you're not in their situation. You have your health completely. Let's say 98.9% you're healthy, and then someone hops in your car that isn't healthy. And it don't even matter the age. It could be 21, 32, 19. You learn a lot. You learn a lot about people. You learn a lot about everything around you while you're participating in ride share and putting taxi miles on your car. I mean, as we know, once it leaves the lot, it already depreciates. So that's obvious. But thank you to those out there that told me such words as I was driving from here to there. Again, through my whole experience over 2,000 rides, I was never concerned about the miles on my car. I was concerned about the folks to my left, to my right, and those behind me. In fact, I was even concerned about the people that I was picking up. Why? Because I did not know them. I did not know them. And once I took them to where they needed to go, I still did not know them. However, I had to become comfortable with driving them around. And again, as I was putting miles on my vehicle, I was just like, well, hopefully this person is mentally stable. And if the person was mentally unstable, I would just like, don't just let me get you to where I need to get you. That's what I was hoping for because this was certain articles I've read, and even today, even though I no longer participate in rideshare, people losing their lives. I just think it's a lot of reasons for that. I think some people don't value their lives. And then I think there's just sometimes a person shouldn't be doing rideshare. Let me speak on that for a moment. While it is taxing on your car, the safest place to go, there's no guarantee, but the safest place to go is the airport. And you may wonder why the airport for one reason, actually a couple reasons. One, I mean, they're coming into the airport, unless you're dealing with a hitman like on one of the TV shows, and even they not really trying to hurt you. They just trying to get to their hotel. But in all seriousness, every individual that I picked up from the airport, and I picked up an abundance of folks from the airport, they either wanted to go home or to the hotel. When I picked them up, no matter if it was during the day or at night. Now, mostly at night, they were asleep. They were just beat, defeated, wherever they came in from. Some flew from Cali, some flew from Florida, all different walks of the U.S. They were just beat, tired. And then even those that came in the morning, they were still tired too. So they wasn't with no shenanigans. They weren't with no off-putting behavior. They weren't saying, hey, could you stop here? Could you stop there? They just wanted to go from the airport to their destination safely. They were individuals of a few words, and then most of them went to sleep. Some would ask me how long I was driving, but I never felt unsafe at all really doing ride share. But I always had to have my antennas up. But again, going to the airport, like I said, it's the safest because most people they're just trying to get from point A to point B, and it's secure. Like where I was residing, I was in the DFW, so I went to DFW Airport and Dallas Love Field, and you had good customers, different individuals of walks of life, but again, they never try no foolishness, no um, out of pocket behavior, where I would be like, you know what, I'm gonna have to drop this person off because I feel as though my life is in danger. Now, again, at one time, while I was putting a lot of miles on my car, the taxi miles. I always kept them stories back in the back of my mind. Even though I'm usually positive, I have to be, I had to be realistic when I was behind the wheel. I understand that I was dealing with strangers, and even growing up as a youth, they said don't let strangers in your car. But I did it many, many times. But luckily, I was highly favored. Nothing happened to me. I have nothing um, disappointing to reveal from that. Because again, even though it was taxing on my car, I was able to meet a lot of different people, be a service to people, and make money. And that's what it's about. Um, but yes, yeah, that's all for today. If you like the video, like, share, comment. Also, if you're an individual that like to read books, if you're an individual that don't like to read books, but you know someone that may need to read a book, or you know someone that is going through a tough time, they feel as though, they're alone and they by themselves. You may hear them say such language as, hey, I'm going through this. I'm the only one going through this. Or if you know a friend or a family member, hell, a stranger or even an enemy, click the link below and go and check out my book. It'll help all of you all. And if not all of you all, at least one of you all. But again, that's all for today. You all have a great one and talk to you all later. Peace.